Well, happy weekend and snow on the way for the weekend. Some are excited, some aren't, but I've been making a big deal out of this the last couple of weeks, and it is a big deal. The lack of sub-zero nights here at MSP. And it's not just our urban heat island, everywhere across the state, seeing way fewer colder nights than normal. So 0 for us. The normal is 9 when we look at the 30-year average, but if we look at the entire historical record, we average more than that. And we've been seeing that trend in the extreme cold. Those coldest nights of the season are getting warmer. Used to average in the 20s below 0 for the Twin Cities. Now our coldest night of the year typically is in the teens below 0. And of course, nowhere near that this year. At least so far, 1 above was our coldest temperature, but February may bring some cold. We'll show you that in a second. There are finally some changes taking afoot here. A lot of clouds though today, and really the next few days. Don't expect to see much sun, of course, with the snow moving in the next couple of days. And the West Coast, certainly a lack of sun there, a lot of moisture. Look at these rainfall amounts in the central part of California. Mostly in the mountains, but these are up to 15 inches of rain, even Los Angeles proper, up to 2 inches of rain and tons of snow too. The Sierra Nevada, but also some of the mountains just outside of Los Angeles seeing quite a bit too here. We're looking at 5 to 10 inches for the mountains just to the north and east of Los Angeles. And of course, the lower elevations, a lot of rain there. And this is the time of year, as I've been talking about, that they depend on getting some of that moisture, but up to 30 inches over the last 24 hours around Lake Tahoe. So incredible amounts of snow there. And it's good news. They need that snowpack especially to really recharge things here, because as they head into spring and summer, they just don't get that moisture. Here's how that happens though. We had this just classic belt of moisture from the tropical Pacific shooting like a garden hose right at California from north to south through the week. You get cold Pacific air coming from Siberia and Alaska, pushes that air out ahead of it, so you get this stream of warm, moist air, tons of moisture, and then it hits the mountains, of course, of the West Coast and just rains and snows itself out. Now, a piece of that energy is headed towards us here for the weekend. We do have that system coming in. Still looks like we'll see some snow here Saturday into Sunday. It's not going to be a total bust for us. A couple of inches of fresh snow, and then we will see a bigger storm potential later next week. Now, in the morning tomorrow, we could see a little freezing drizzle ahead of some of the snow showers developing. And then as we head into the evening hours, it's going to probably take till late afternoon, evening to really see that snow get going here in the Twin Cities. And then we'll have snow through the night tomorrow night, and then wrapping up slowly through the day Sunday. So not a heavy snow, but a prolonged light to moderate snow starting late tomorrow afternoon into Sunday. Looks like about 2, maybe 3 inches here in the Twin Cities. I think the best chance of 3-inch amounts are going to be further to the southeast. But wanted to take a look at the North Shore, because that's going to be kind of a separate thing in itself. Same system, but this is a lake enhanced situation here. Not pure lake effect. Pure lake effect is when it's just snow from the lake, but we already have a system and it gets enhanced because winds are going to be roaring out of the east and southeast over Lake Superior, hitting those higher elevations of the North Shore. And this is when they can really squeeze out some good snow there. So Isabella, Finland, that's where we might have a little pocket of a ½ foot or more there. And even Duluth might get a little more snow than the surrounding areas because of that fetch across the lake, maybe 3-4 inches for some spots in the Duluth area. And then our focus is towards a bigger storm potential next week. All the models agree on a big snowstorm, but the exact track still in question. The American model is a little further north, a little warmer. We're kind of on the rain snow edge and creates a very narrow, heavy snow band. The other model is a little further south. So here's the American model, puts that heaviest snow band in a very narrow belt. So yeah, trying to forecast this very narrow band of snow this far out, pretty treacherous yet. European model further south has the bullseye right over us. Canadian model pretty similar, but either way, somewhere in the upper Midwest is going to get quite a bit of snow. We're talking for the potential of 10+ inches out of this system. This is a good setup for a potential snowmaker. And then we're talking some real cold too. Now this is the American model from a few weeks ago. It's been having this cliff dive in temperatures, basically forecasting really cold air in the second half of its 16-day forecast, which has never come to fruition. I put in red there the actual numbers, way above what it was forecasting, but it looks like that's going to change. And one of the reasons is that all the models are on board now, the European and American. Here's the European on the left, the American on the right. This is for next weekend. This is some real cold. We're talking maybe some sub-zero readings again overnight. The Canadian model also showing that. This is, again, next weekend. Look at that dive to maybe single-digit highs and sub-zero overnight lows. So we might finally get some cold around here for parts of February. We'll see how long that lasts, but it's our last meteorological month of winter. Temperatures in the mid-20s today. It will be mild before that cold and storm, so enjoy it. We're talking highs in the low 30s, not enough to melt all our snow, but definitely give us a little opportunity to thaw and maybe get out there before the big storm, potentially late next week, and then some real Arctic cold potentially by next weekend.